Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. We got some post 1961 Apba Bats League. We got the Detroit Tigers traveling to the Baltimore Orioles in the first of a three-game series. And leading off for the Tigers, playing second base is Whitaker. Batting second, playing short's Trammell. Batting third, playing first base is Cash. Batting fourth, playing third base is Cabrera. Batting fifth, playing left field is Colavito. Batting sixth, playing right field, excuse me, is Ordonez. Batting seventh, playing center field is Granderson. Batting eighth and doing the catching is Freehan. And on the mound is the bird, Mark FIDRYCH. And let's take a look at the hometown Baltimore Orioles starting lineup. Leading off, playing second is Robertson. Batting second, playing right field is Markakis. Batting third, playing shortstop, excuse me, is Ripken. Batting fourth, playing center field is Anderson. Batting fifth, playing left field is Frank Robinson. Batting sixth, playing first base is Powell. Batting seventh, playing third base, Brooks Robinson. And batting eighth behind the plate is Hoyles. And on the mound, batting ninth is Mike MUSSINA. Let's get down here to Baltimore and get this game started, folks. And the leading off here for the Tigers is Lou Whitaker, batting .250 with no homers and 1 RBI. And this is Mike MUSSINA's first appearance of the year. And in 1992, he was 18-5 with a 2.54 ERA. And here's the pitch to Sweet Lou. And that's going to be a rare play to start the game off with. And now 24 and a 36 is going to be a strike one on him. One strike on him. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a grounder down to Brooks. He fires over the first. And that'll be out number one. And that brings up Alan Trammell now. And Trammell batting 143, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be against the lefty. 15 and a 9. And that's going to be a base hit and infield hit for Trammell. He gets aboard here with 1 out. And Norm Cash comes to the plate now. And Cash is batting .250 with no homers and an RBI. And that ball's well hit. Norm Cash tears into this one, folks. And that ball is hit into the gap in right field of Camden Yards. Let's see how far Trammell's going to travel. Marquez has got a damn good arm out there. Let's see here. A double in the right field with 1 out. And he's going to stay put. So Cash gets a double. And they're not going to try to chance it here. With Cabrera up now. And Miguel with runners on second and third. The Orioles will play back. They'll give up a run for an out here. He's batting 0 for 12. He is definitely due. Here's the pitch to Miguel. And that's going to be a 12. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field. And with 1 out of 44. See if they chance it this time. 22, who's up next? Rocky Colavito. I think they're going to chance it here. 22, that would be a 44 or lower. 44 or lower, he tags up. And what about Cash? Is he going to tag up from second? Also, that is the question. And that would be a 45. He's going to stay put. So, what did I say it was? It was a was a 43 or lower. And they throw him out. A double play, fly ball. Markakis makes the catch, throws Trammell out at the plate. And that'll end the inning, folks. The Tigers leave one. We go to the bottom of the first. Tigers, nothing. Orioles coming to the plate. As you can see the team comparisons. Detroit's 2-1 with 11 runs, 3 homers, 2 stolen bases, and been caught once. And Baltimore's 2-1 also with 13 runs, 5 homers, haven't stolen or been caught. Brian Roberts steps up to the plate, batting .333 with no homers and no RBIs, and the Birds on the mound. And in 1976, he was 19-9 with a 2.34 ERA. Here's the pitch to Brian. And that's going to be a base on balls. So the Bird walks the first batter he faces. And that brings up Markakis, who just made that nice play out there in right field to gun down Trammell at the plate. And Markakis is batting .273 with a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Granderson for out number 1. That brings up Ripken. And Ripken is batting .231, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 43-2. That'll be fielding column 1, and they'll get the lead runner out. Yeah, they'll get the lead runner out. For out number 2. And now you got 2 outs, and Cal Ripken down at first. For Brady Anderson, batting .400 with no homers and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be against the righty, a 16. And that's going to be a infield hit for Brady Anderson. So Brady's aboard here. It's first and second and 2 outs, and Frank Robinson comes to the plate. Can he give the Orioles a lead here in the bottom of the first with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs? Frank's batting .167, no homers and 2 RBIs. And nope, that's a big swing and a miss. The Bird gets him on strikes. The Bird's first strikeout of the game, and we go to the top of the second. It's nothing. You got Colavito due up, rather. Ordonez and Granderson. Rocky's looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 on the year. And that's going to be a lazy fly ball out to Frank and left for out number 1. And Ordonez comes to the plate, batting .200 with no homers and an RBI. And that's going to be a base on balls. That's Mike MUSSINA's first walk of the game. And that brings up Curtis Granderson now with a runner on and 1 out. And Granderson is batting .800 on the year, folks, with a homer and 3 RBIs. He's leading the American League in batting. Can he keep it up? And that's going to be against the righty, 13 and a 9. And that's going to be another infield hit. Granderson is a hitting machine here, folks. So Granderson's aboard. Now it's first and second for Freehan. And let's see if he can get the Tigers on the scoreboard. He's looking for his first base hit of the year. He's 0 for 4. And that's going to be against the righty, 19. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Can they turn 2? That will be the question. 31 and a 9. That'll be fielding column 1. And that's actually going to be a pop-up down the second. So he pumps it up. And Robertson makes the catch for out number 2. So it's going to be up to the Bird himself. Can the bird deliver here? And the bird, the bird's the word. Everybody's heard the bird's the word. And this is Mark's first at bat of the year. And that's going to be a 21. That is going to be a ground ball down the first. And that's going to be a single knocked down by the first baseman. And that's going to field the bases, folks. Big Pal makes a nice play to keep a run from scoring. So now the bases are loaded. And who said we need a DH? The bird says we don't need no stinking DH. And now you got Lou Whitaker up. And he grounded out to third his first time up. Bases full of Tigers. Ordonez at third. Granderson second. The bird at first. And Lou at the plate. And that's going to be a 36 a pitcher. And let's see, no, it is going to be a wild pitch. Runners advance one. F1 second also scores on a which case. So an F. So that's a 2 runs will score, and the bird will stop at second. So you got a wild pitch. And let's see if we can advance the runner from second. 2 bases here on this wild pitch. Nope. So I'm not even going to bother. We're just going to score him here, advance him. I think it's called runner advance is what it is. We'll look it up here. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out how to make him advance 2 bases, folks. It just ain't worth it. I'm not going to spend all day trying to figure this out. Yeah, runner advance. So you go runner advances. R3. What happened to the bird? The bird, the bird's a word. Everybody's heard the bird's the word. So, advances R3. And the bird what the fuck happens? And the bird's gone. I don't want that. Don't want that. That's not good. We need the bird down there at second. Let's see if try this. Now I'm getting a little aggravated here. Getting a little aggravated. And that don't work. That don't work. So how in the hell am I going to score Granderson? Oh, goodness. I guess we can have him steal home and then I'd take it away. I guess that's what we'll do. Stolen base runner on third, safe. That'll score him. And I'll go back and take away the stolen base. That's the only way to do it. So, go to box score. Extended box score. And that was Granderson. We want to get rid of the stolen base. Granderson will get rid of the stolen base. Make it 0. Okay. Alrighty. Sorry about that, folks. Now there's runner with second. Tigers up 2-0 in a 1-0 pitch to Mr. Whitaker. After all that, and a bag of chips. And here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Powell's got it. He's going to throw over to Mike covering, and that'll end the inning. But the wild pitch costs MUSSINA 2 runs, and it's 2-0 Tigers as we go to the bottom of the second. You got Boog Powell due up, followed by Brooks Robinson and then Hoyles. Boog's batting .364 with a homer and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Trammell's up with it, fires over the first for out number 1. And Brooks comes to the plate. And Brooks is batting .250 with a homer and an RBI. And that ball's well hit. Brooks Robinson gets a hold of this one. See where this one ends up at, folks. And that's going to be a double down the right field line. Yep, a double down the right field line. Brooks is aboard here with 1 out in scoring position here. And Chris Hoyles comes to the plate. And Chris is batting. Chris is looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 9. Can he deliver here with Brooks down in scoring position at second? And that's going to be against the righty 20. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And he's going to look the runner back to second. Trammell will fire over to first for out number 2. And now let's see if Mike MUSSINA can match his counterpart, the Bird, and get a hit here. This is Mike MUSSINA's first plate appearance of the year. And against the righty, it'll be a 19. And that's going to be a nice play by the Bird, I believe. Nope, that's going to be a nice play down there by Cash. Cash makes a nice play. Throws over to the Bird covering, and the Orioles strand 1. Go to the top of the third, 2-0 Detroit. You got Trammell, Cash, and Cabrera due up here against Mike MUSSINA in the third. Trammell single back in the first. He's 1 for 1. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 18. And that'll be a fly ball out to center field for out number 1. And Cash is up. And Norm, he is 1 for 1. He doubled back in the first. And that's going to be a 12. That's going to be a fly ball. Nope, that's going to be a single in the left field. Norm Cash delivers, goes the opposite way. And Cash is aboard here with a 1-out single. And Cabrera comes to the plate. He flew out to Markakis back in the first. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Can Cabrera take advantage of the count? And no, that's going to be a pop up behind home plate. Chris Hoyles takes the mask off, makes the catch for out number 2. So it's up to Rocky Colavito here with Cash down at first. Rocky flew out the left back in the second. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a team here. Well, let's look a wild pitch too. So that's going to be a rare play. Oh, we're going to have to do the team. Okay, the team 7, 11, 20, 36, 8. So they're fielding column 1. So, wild pitch, nope. It's going to be a rare play. 39 with a runner on first. And 25 and a 39. And that's going to be hit down the second. And Roberts is a 9, a 54, and a 9. And that's barely column number 1. And that's going to be a pop up down the second. That'll end the inning. And the Tigers strand 1 to the bottom of the third we go. We got the top of the order due up here for the Orioles. Roberts, Markakis, and Ripken. And Bryant, he walked back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Cabrera's up with it. He fires across the diamond to Cash for out number 1. And Nick comes up. Markakis is 0 for 1. He flew out the center in the first. And that's going to be another fly ball. And this one's going to be out the left field. The Rock makes the catch for out number 2. And now you got Mr. Ripken up. And Junior's 0 for 1. He grounded into a fielder's choice in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And Trammell's going to make a nice play on that. Fire over to first and get Ripken. So he grounds out to his counterpart who makes a nice play. That'll end the third. To the top of the fourth we go. Ordonez, Granderson, and Freehon due up. And Ordonez walked and came around to score in the second. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So MUSSINA strikes out his first victim of the game. And Granderson comes up. And Curtis singled and came around to score in the second inning. And that's going to be back-to-back strikeouts. MUSSINA wheeling and dealing here in the fourth. Can he strike out the side? As Bill Freehon comes up, he popped up the second back in the second. He's 0 for 1, and he says good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Strikes the side out. MUSSINA in the fourth looking strong. We go to the bottom of the fourth. You got Anderson, Frank Robinson, and Boog up. And Brady's 1 for 1. He singled back in the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. And that's going to be a nice catch by his counterpart, Granderson. Robs Brady of a base hit for out number 1. Here comes Frank Robinson up now. And Frank struck out. He's 0 for 1. His first time up, and he's going to be 0 for 2. And the Birds got Frank's number. That's his second time striking Frank out. And it is only his second strikeout. So the only guy he struck out so far has been Frank Robinson. And that brings up Big Pal. He grounded out the short back in the second. He's 0 for 1. And he's going to be 0 for 2 because that's a ground ball down to Cash. He'll take it himself. 1, 2, 3 goes the Orioles. To the top of the fifth we go. You got the Bird due up, followed by Whitaker and Trammell. And the Bird had that single back in the second. He's batting 1,000 in the game and 1,000 on the year. Can he keep it up? And nope, that's going to be a fly ball out to Anderson. Mr. Anderson makes the catch for out number 1. Back to the top of the order we go. And lose 0 for 2 today. And that's going to be a fly ball out center field. Brady makes another catch. 2 quick outs, 2 fly balls to center, 2 outs. Alan Trammell's up now, and he's 1 for 2, single back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Powell. 1, 2, 3 goes the Tigers. To the bottom of the fifth we go. You got Brooks due up here. Hoyles and MUSSINA the bottom third. Brooks, he doubled back in the second. He's 1 for 1. And that's going to be a base on ball. So Brooks is on base for the second time today. And Chris Hoyles comes to the plate. Orioles trailing by 2. And Hoyles grounded out the short back in the second. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a lazy fly ball out to Colavito for out number 1. And MUSSINA's going to try to bunt Robinson over in the scoring position. Mike, he grounded out the first back in the second. And that's going to be a 29. I think that's going to be 2 missed attempts to bunt. Yep, he fouls off the second pitch here, so it's an 0-2 count. They're keeping the bunt sign on, and that's going to be a bunted down to third base. Only plays over to first with Cash covering, and that'll be out number 2. But the runner is in scoring position now for Brian Roberts. See if he can cut this lead in half. Roberts is 0 for 1. He walked back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. The Bird strikes him out for his third strikeout of the game. And to the top of the 6th we go as the Orioles strand 1 and a 2-0 Tigers lead. You got Cash, Cabrera, and Colavito. You got the C's up. CCC, senor. CCC. CCC. And Cash is 2 for 2. He singled and doubled. And that's going to be the first time MUSSINA's gotten him out, and he strikes him out, and that's MUSSINA's 4th strikeout of the game. And Cabrera comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. And he's going to be 0 for 3 as that's a ground ball down the Ripken. He fires over the pal. 2 quick outs here in the 6th. And here's Rocky Colavito. Can MUSSINA get all 3 C's out? Colavito's 0 for 2. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Markakis. 1, 2, 3 goes the Tigers. To the bottom of the 6th we go. And speaking of Markakis, he's going to lead it off, followed by Ripken and Anderson. Nick is 0 for 2 today. And he's going to be 0 for 3. That's a fly ball out to left. Round number 1. As David joins us here. Good morning to you too, bud. And Ripken's 0 for 2. See if Cal can get a board here. And that's going to be a 20. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Granderson. 2 quick outs. And it's going to be up to Mr. Brady Anderson. And Brady's 1 for 2. Single back in the first. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out to right. 1, 2, 3 goes the O's. To the top of the 7th we go. Tigers holding on to a 2-0 lead. And you got Ordonez, Granderson, and Freehan due up. And Miguel's 0 for 1. He did walk and come around the score in the 2nd. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Nick for out number 1. And Curtis is up now. And Curtis is 1 for 2. He singled and came around the score in the 2nd. Remember, that was off a wild pitch. Scored both of those runners. That's going to be a base on balls. So Granderson's down at first with 1 out. And let's see here. An E after the 6th inning. And Granderson's going to take off here, folks. So that'd be a 4, a 31, 31, a 61 or lower. He's safe at 2nd. And they get him out. Chris Hoyles guns him down, folks, with that roll of a 66. Curtis Granderson's out stealing. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on. Nice job by Chris Hoyles. Fires down to 2nd. Bill's up now. He's 0 for 2 with nobody on now. And that is going to be a base hit. Always happens after a stolen base. Caught stolen base, don't it? So Freehan's down at first. And here's the Bird. The Bird is 1 for 2. He singled back in the 2nd. And that's going to be a 18. And the Bird is going to be 2 for 3 today. The Bird smoking hot at the plate and on the mound. An infield hit. He steamrolls down the first. How about that? The Bird says, who needs a stinking DH, man? So now you got first and second and 2 outs. And Lou Whitaker's up. He is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and flew out the center. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss. MUSSINA with a big strikeout there. That ends the threat. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 2-0 Detroit. You see the Orioles' upcoming schedule. They got 2 more games here in Baltimore against Detroit. Then they go on the road to play 2 games against Kansas City. And they stay on the road to take on these same Tigers. So we got the Robinson up, followed by Powell and the other Robinson brother, Brooks. So Frank, Powell, and Brooks due up here in the 7th inning. Orioles trailing by 2. Frank trying to avoid the hat trick here. He has struck out twice against the Bird. And he avoids this one, folks, because that ball is high, that ball is far, that ball is going. All or nothing for Frank Robinson today. He hits a homer here in the 7th and makes it a 2-1 ball game. That'll get the bullpen up here. See if they got a lefty in the bullpen. Yes, they do. They got 2 lefties in the bullpen. So they'll get... Tell them Willie sent you. Willie Hernandez will be getting up. Hell, they got 3 lefties. Hiller also. So they're Tigers, unlike most teams, are loaded with lefties. So now you got Boog Powell up. Orioles only trailing by 1. Powell is 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out twice. And that's going to be another ground ball. This one down the Trammell. He fires over to Cash for out number 1. And here comes the other Robinson boy. And this is Brooks. And he's 1 for 1. He has walked and doubled. And not this time. First time they're going to get Brooks out. That's a lazy fly ball out to Rocky for out number 2. And Chris Hoyles is up now. And Chris is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And not this time, because he's just tied this ball game up, folks. Home run by Chris Hoyles. Just like that, it's a 2-2 ball game. And now what do we do with MUSSINA? MUSSINA's pitching a fine game, but I think we're going to have to try, since the Bird is on the ropes, try to knock him out here. Knock him out, Joe. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. I think it's going to be Eddie. Eddie. Yeah, let's see who's going to be. Eddie Murray's going to come off the bench and try to give the Orioles the lead here. And you might watch out here. The Bird might put one in his ear. The Bird, the Bird. The Bird is the word. He's a little nuts, the Bird is. And Eddie comes to the plate, his first plate appearance of the year. And in 1982, he batted .316 with 32 homers and 110 RBIs. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. So now with 2 outs, Murray's aboard here. And we might have to go to the pen here. And we are. Let's see who's going to come out of the pen here. And Willie Hernandez is coming out of the pen, as the Bird can't make it through the 7th inning. Right now, it's a 2-2 game, but that runner at first is his responsibility. So the Bird could still get the loss here. So tell him Willie sent you. Willie's coming in the game. And where's old Willie at? This is Willie's 2nd appearance of the year. He's got a save and no earned runs yet. Brian Roberts, he's at the plate. He's 0 for 2. He's walked back in the 1st. And that's going to be a 2-0 count on him. 2 balls and no strikes. Can he take advantage of it? And he walks the hard way in Apba with 2 dice rolls. And Willie now walks himself into trouble with a runner in scoring position. Go ahead run down at second now. And up to the plate is Nick Markakis. And Nick batting .214 on the year. He does have a homer and 2 RBIs, but he's 0 for 3 today. And he's going to be 0 for 4 as Willie comes back after walking. The first batter strikes out Nick. But the Orioles, with the 2 runs and 2 solo shots, tie this ball game to the top of the 8th. We go. Now we need a reliever to come out of the pen. You got the righty-lefty matchup. And O'Day is going to come out of the bullpen. See what Darren can do here. The sidearm pitcher, you know, everybody knows me, knows I love those sidearm pitchers. So O'Day's going to come in the game. And this is his first appearance of the year. In 2015, he was 6-2 with 6 saves and a 1.52 ERA. He's got the top of the order due up here. Well, 2, 3, 4 hitters, Trammell, Cash, and Cabrera. And Allen's 1 for 3. He singled back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down the rip. No, that might be a swing and a miss. It is. O'Day strikes him out, folks. Darren with his first strikeout of the game. And that brings up Norm Cash now. And Cash is 2 for 3. He's doubled and singled in the game. And that's going to be a base on balls. So the lefty gets aboard here. And Cabrera's up now. And he's 0 for 3. He is flown out, grounded out, and popped up. And he ain't 0 for 3 anymore, folks. See where this ball lands at. Against the righty. That'll be a 25. And that ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is going. And that's going to be a 2-run shot in the center field. And Cabrera gives the Tigers a 2 lead here, folks. They can't keep this a tie ball game. Now Rocky's up. He's 0 for 3. He has flown out twice and popped up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the pile. He'll take it himself. Now there's 2 outs. And Ordonez is up. And he's 0 for 2. He did walk and come around to score back in the second. And that's going to be against the righty 26. That's going to be a ground ball down to Robertson. And that'll end the inning. But the 2-run shot gives the Tigers a 4-2 lead. And let's see who's coming up here. You got the righty, lefty, and righty due up. Let's see here. Who are they getting up in the bullpen? And Gladden's getting up in the bullpen just in case Willie gets into any trouble here. He's got Ripken up. Ripken followed by Anderson and Frank Robinson. Cal's 0 for 3. And he's going to be 0 for 4 as that's a fly ball out the right field for out number 1. And then you got Brady Anderson up. And Brady's 1 for 3 today. He singled back in the first. And that's going to be against 20. That's going to be an infield hit again for Brady. So Brady's 2 for 4. And that brings the tying run to the plate and Frank Robinson. And Frank is 1 for 3. He's homered in this game back in the 7th. And that's going to be well hit. Frank Robinson. Can he tie this ball game up, folks? Nope, that's going to be a double in the right field. And with Anderson's speed. He should come around the score easily. Let's see here. Double in the right. 29, which is a 55 or lower. Can Ordonez throw him out at the plate? Nope, that's going to be an RBI double. Cut the lead to 1. And I think that's going to be it. You got Boog Powell due up to let Willie pitch to Powell. Oh, didn't score him from first. Messed up. Give me a second here, folks. Didn't score him from first. So now you got Powell up here with 1 out, a runner down at second, a tying run in scoring position. And Powell's 0 for 3. He is grounded out twice to short and once to first. And that's going to be a base on balls. And that's going to be it for Willie boy. Now you got the righties coming up here. And Gladden's going to come in first and second. Just going to try to get through this 8th inning. They're not going to do a double switch. So Willie gives up a run and has got 2 runners on here with only 1 out. Let's see here. As Gladden's coming in the game. Face Brooks Robinson. Of course, the Tigers are going to be looking for that ground ball double play with Powell and Brooks. Not a lot of speed, that's for sure. And this is Gladden's 3rd appearance, no record and no ERA. And Brooks is 1 for 2. He doubled back in the 2nd and walked in the 5th. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left. Rocky's got it for out number 2. So Gladden gets the first batter out. Now there's 2 outs, runner still at first and second. And Chris Hoyles is at the plate. And Chris homered his last time up. He's 1 for 3. And that's not going to happen. That's a big swing and a miss. Gladden comes in, shuts the door. We go to the top of the 9th. It's a 1-run ball game, folks. O'Day is due to lead off the 9th. See if he can make it through this top of the 9th and keep it a 1-run game. He's got Granderson, Freehan, and a pitch hitter for Gladden. And Curtis is 1 for 2. He singled back in the 2nd. And that's going to be against the lefty. That's going to be a pop up down the short for out number 1. And Bill's up now. And Bill is 1 for 3 today. He singled back in the 7th. And that's going to be a base on balls. Not what you want when you're down by 1. Like I say, that'll be it for Gladden. Have a pitch hitter for him. See who's going to come off the bench. All they got's righties up. All they got's righties. And Travis is going to come off the bench with 1 out here. Travis Fryman comes off the bench to face O'Day. And Travis is looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 2. And he's going to be 0 for 3 because O'Day strikes him out for out number 2 here in the top of the 9th. Back to the top of the order we go in. Sweet Lou Whitaker. And Lou is 0 for 4 today. That's a bump to camera. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Anderson. And that'll end the inning. They strand 1 to the bottom of the 9th we go. It's a 4-3 ball game. see who's going to come out of the bullpen here. You got a pitch hitter for O'Day, and then the lefties coming up. So let's see here. Do they go with I think they go with Hiller. Hiller's going to come out of the bullpen. The closer, you might as well go with the big boy here. So John's going to come out of the bullpen. Try to close this game out. This is his third appearance of the year. He is 1 win, 1 save, and a 6 ERA. And here's going to come off the bench here and pitch hit for O'Day. And it's going to be Ken Singleton. Is that who's going to come out? Yep, Ken Singleton's going to come off the bench and pitch it for O'Day. Ken Singleton will turn around and bat from the right side here. And Singleton's 0 for 1 on the year, looking for his first hit. Orioles trail by 1, folks. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 9th. To the top of the order we go. And Brian Roberts will turn around now, or do we make a change here and bring out Davey Johnson? And that's what's going to happen. Davey's going to come off the bench here. Pitch hit for Brian. And he'll stay in the game and play second if they tie it up. And Davey is the first plate appearance of the year in 1971. He was batted .282 with 18 homers, 72 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. So the Orioles get the tying run on. Go ahead and winning run comes to the plate. So John just walked himself into a pickle. And now you got Markakis up. And let's see here. I think we're going to pitch hit for Markakis with Matt Wieters. And Singleton can stay in the game and play the outfield if they tie it up. We're going to bring on the big boy now. He kills lefties. So here comes Matt with a runner down at first and 1 out. And he is looking for his first plate appearance of the year. And in 2011, he batted .262 with 22 homers and 68 RBIs. Let's see what he did against lefties, folks. Against lefties, he batted .339. So here we go. John to Matt. And that's going to be a 14. That'll be an 8. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Actually, it's going to be popped up down the third, I believe. Nope. That will be a ground ball down the second. And 66. So the only play Lou's got is over to first. So that'll get the runner in scoring position to tie this ball game up. So it's a ground ball down the second. So Matt gets the runner in scoring position, but they was looking for more than that. Now there's 2 outs and Cal Ripken's up. Orioles down to their last out. Ripken's 0 for 4. So I guess he's due, huh? And nope, that's going to be popped up. Nope, that's a swing and a miss. John strikes him out, folks, to end the game. The Orioles try to make a Nice game. Nice game here to start this 3-game series. and the Tigers 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. The Orioles 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Norm Cash was 2 for 3. And the bird's a word. He was 2 for 3. Tigers were 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position, left 6 men on. Cabrera with the homer. And the Orioles, you had Anderson and Frank Robinson both 2 for 4. Orioles 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Frank Robinson and Chris Hoyles with solo homers. The Orioles left 9 men on base, had their chances, folks. The Bird gets a no decision, goes 6 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and gave up the 2 solo homers. Willie comes in and pitches 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, a run, walked 2, struck out 1. Gladden comes in, pitches 2/3 of an inning, gets a strikeout, and John Hiller comes in, picks up his second save, 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. MUSSINA, the tough luck loser. Well, no, he's not the loser. No decision. Goes 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, walked 2, struck out 5. O'Day comes in, gets the loss. He's 0-1, 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs, walked 2, struck out 2, and gave up the homer. Take a look here at the standings and leaderboard here in the American League. Yankees are now 2 games up on the Orioles, Red Sox, and Jays. And the Rays are 2.5 games back. Detroit's a half a game up on the Indians. The Twins a game up. Kansas City a game and a half in the Chicago White Sox 2 games. And out west, the Rangers are a game up on the Mariners. A's are 2 games back, and the Angels 2.5. Curtis Granderson's batting .625, leading the league. Ramirez with 4 homers, along with his teammate Tommy, leading the American League, and Jim with 8 RBIs, leading the American League. Of course, the ERA leader right now is going to be at 0. Win leader at 1. And John and Mariano Rivera tied with 2 saves apiece. Right now, Jim Thomey's leading the MVP voting, and Jim Palmer the Cy Young. The next game on the schedule is going to be the second game of this 3-game series, and Mickey Lawler is going to go up against the Stone, Steve Stone. Game number 2 of this series on April 4th. Alrighty, folks, until next time, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for reminders, slam that like button, and leave a comment. Until next time, y'all have a great day and take care. I want to thank David for stopping in this afternoon or this morning.